The BJP released its manifesto on the architect of Indian Constitution, Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's birthday. Present were Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP President JP Nadda, Home Minister Amit Shah and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The Sankalp Patra is a manifestation of Prime Minister Modi's guarantee, says UP CM Yogi Adityanath. This Sankalp Patra is a blueprint for a new Bharat and is based on 5 pillars called the GYAN: youth, women, poor and farmers. It's Gareeb, Yuva, Annadaata and Nari. Now, there are ongoing schemes with a specific focus on the middle class, Mission South India, jobs versus employment and Bharat versus India. On the side, there is no mention of Pakistan. Interesting takeaway there. Prime Minister Modi's name features 65 times and the word guarantee 61 times. Modi Ki Guarantee, as the manifesto is called, lays the roadmap for Viksit Bharat, or a developed India by 2047. So is the manifesto largely on policy continuity? How do the BJP and Congress election manifestos differ? Joining me to discuss this are Ratan Sharda-author and political analyst, Suresh Kochattil and my colleague Ajit Vijay Kumar. Gentlemen, welcome to the News9 Plus show. Mr. Sharda, how is the BJP's manifesto really a roadmap for the next 23 years? How do you see it in the long term? As the Prime Minister says, it's a roadmap for a Viksit Bharat 2047. I'm moving it beyond 2049.
Well, first of all, did we have any Prime Minister or any party which talked about beyond 1 or 2 years or beyond 5 years? We were living from head to mouth, we were living day to day. The policies were tailored to suit the next election, not suit the nation's genius. So this is the biggest difference, because even now if you look at Congress manifesto, there is no mention of coming 25 years or 40 years or 50 years. They are struggling with the same Mai Baap Sarkar, where you will pass out doles and poor Indian people who cannot create their own employment, cannot create their own jobs, etc. They need dues, they need some kind of freebies and some support, because we are unable to rise above poverty. That has been the theme song of Congress since its birth in, since the independence. So that is one first stark difference. Second is aspirational, creating a confidence in the people that you will rise to the occasion. We will be providing enough to enable you to do your own business, to do your own job, to do your own education. So government is an enabler. It is not a facilitator or giving people ready-made solutions or giving them food to just put where their mouth is. So this is one big difference, that aspirational was vis-a-vis a very depressing kind of thing, where you don't believe your own people. And then if you look at the one election, one election, one nation, one vote. When people move to migrate for job, they cannot vote. When you have every election in 3-4 months, you cannot really concentrate on governance because of the election commission rules. So what do? Half the time TVs are already discussing elections, either coming election or gone election. By that a new election comes. So a whole lot of energy, billions of rupees and effort and energy goes into managing elections, discussing elections and not governance. If elections are held together, we can at least put more focus on governance, whether it's opposition party or local party. Thirdly, with limited resources that the opposition claims, it would be better off for opposition to have one election so they can pool their resources rather than raising funds for every election. While we are saying that's a dictatorship, how it is, because till Indira Gandhi started dissolving assemblies in 67, 68, we had one election. So this is another thing. Then the details that we see Congress spokesperson who has come on various channels says we do not know how many poor are there. We do not know how many women will get advantage of 1 lakh per year. So how are they going to fund it if they don't even know how many people are beneficiaries? It means they have not enough homework. As compared to BJP, it's a record of 10 years, knowing how many people are there, what is to be done for them, and enabling environment. For example, who would have thought of drone didis, right? And who would have thought of tourism as a major, everybody talks about tourism as a major revenue earner, but we, despite so many years, have only 1.6% share of global tourism. It is only 5.8% of our revenue share, and we know it is the biggest per capita or per lakh investment employer which tourism should have been promoted, and I hope it will be done now. Again, role of women in that. All these things I would, for the starter, stop here, and so you can carry on.
Right, absolutely. You know, Ajit, everything for everyone in the Modi manifesto. Any surprises when you read through the document?
Not really, Sandeep, in the sense that the manifesto is clearly indicative of the fact that of everyone else, at least the BJP is quite sure that they're coming back.
They're coming back
to power.
Right.
And that's why this is not a manifesto traditionally have been have a lot of goals and this and that,
Right.
but then this is more of a continuity thing,
Yeah.
which is a striking difference. And if you were to also look at the 2019 manifesto,
Right.
and then compare it with the 2024 one,
Yes.
then you'll understand that a lot of big ticket ones that they had promised, like the Ram Mandir,
Yes.
or 370,
Right.
have all been done, right?
Right,
So
absolutely.
I think Prime Minister himself, and you mentioned about Modi's name being there 61 times.
Yes.
In the 2019 manifesto, it was mentioned only thrice.
That's
So
right.
right. So now that there are only two keywords, which is
Right.
Modi and guarantee.
Guarantee.
And
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the best thing that I feel, if we were to talk about the positives, is that the BJP manifesto is not overtly focusing on kind of physical populism, right? So,
Yes.
like for example, the Congress manifesto talks about legal guarantee to MSP,
Yes.
which we all know will make our country go broke. So
Right.
so that's why I think the whole idea here is that the 2047 dream that they have been
Yes.
talking about, it is all leading up to it, with Modi and the word guarantee being the keywords there.
Right. Suresh, any surprises in the BJP manifesto there? As Ajit mentioned, that it's basically just two words. It's Modi and guarantee, and of course 2047. Anything that surprised you about the manifesto
Yes.
the BJP brought out?
The free healthcare for those above 70. From yesterday evening, I've been fielding phone calls from my relatives, from my friends, who all think that I was the one who drafted the manifesto. And I tell them that no, look, it's very clear. There is no conditions attached with getting. See, I'll tell you what. I'm 61 now, and I find it extremely difficult. I am paying
Right.
68,000 per year as a premium for healthcare for me and my wife. And the limit is say 5 lakhs, as was promised here. Now imagine those who are above 70, most of them will have some pre-existing disease, and they are finding it extremely difficult to kind of get, no matter how rich you are, how well-to-do you are. Your children are paying most of the time for your insurance. And that is what is hurting the Indian population. I mean, I worked in the healthcare sector for 10 years, on the media side of it also. And I can tell you that most of Indian families go bankrupt if they have a healthcare emergency at home. And this is a great move. I'm telling you, I mean, the population above 70 years of age in India must be hardly about 2 to 3, I mean, 9% now. Will come up to 11% by 2025.
Yes. Yes.
But remember, a large proportion of those elders' kids, that is
Right.
children who are maybe in their 40s, 30s, 40s, or even 50s, will pay the insurance for their parents. And they'll be relieved that, look, I can now relax. I need not pay their healthcare premium. And that, I think, is a big, big thing. I think, why didn't we think of this before? I don't know. Well, are there strings attached? Yes, maybe the CGHS won't make it. Those who are existing central government employees, for example, even the army, those who have the army facility, whether they will be covered by their own insurance schemes. But I guess a large part of the Indian population, those who are above the age of 70, yes, they will go. And as was said before, that BJP is coming back to power. That is why they're not promising that I'll give you 1 lakh per family and all that kind of stuff. Even I was contesting, I would say I will give you 1 kg of gold for every family. I know that I'm not going to win, but I'll promise it for the sake of promising it. And cervical cancer and a MSP for crops on a gradual basis increase. These are very, very important moments. But I think the healthcare one is the one that took away the entire call. And I can tell you by the number of calls, as I told you earlier, I got yesterday and today, it's humongous. The kind of impact it has created across the board in many cases, including, I can talk of my own mother, who actually is covered under a railway insurance, but she doesn't want to wear it. She said, I will go for this. And that is what the main winning thing is, I think.
Right, absolutely. The surprise in the BJP manifesto there, which suggests policy continuity, as our panelists have just told us, but this is the manifesto, the Modi Ki Guarantee manifesto is a manifesto presented by a political party that actually believes it's coming back to power. That's not happened in a long time in Indian politics, nearly half a century before a political party has come and presented a manifesto and was so sure of coming back to power. But thank you very much for joining us this evening, Ratan Sharda, Suresh, and my colleague Ajit Vijay Kumar.
Streaming on News9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.